Nicolas Sarkozy takes a bold look into how Paris could look in the future. The city's architecture museum is presenting blueprints and models submitted by teams from around the world. The French capital is set for a makeover. The exhibition, entitled Le Grand Paris, marks the first step.
Greater Paris will no longer be just an agglomeration. There will be no more unstable zones, and people's lives will no longer depend on the neighborhood they live in. Where you come from will become irrelevant. Truthful, beautiful, great, and just. That is the agenda of this campaign.
Vrai, beau, grand, juste. Voilà le programme du Grand Paris.
The various plans have one thing in common: improving Greater Paris's infrastructure. French architect Yves Lion wants to build 20 new towns around the old city center, while his compatriot Antoine Grumbach has suggested linking the city with the Atlantic coast. Christian de Port-Saint-Parc takes a pragmatic approach. He envisions a monorail.
Paris needs something more advanced in terms of transportation. The traffic issue is neglected. The entire area is blocked up with streets and railways.
Majestic old buildings like the Arc de Triomphe and the Eiffel Tower are how people typically imagine the city. But Greater Paris comprises far more than that. It's already home to over 11 million people and growing. Acclaimed architect Jean Nouvel has suggested vertical growth instead of a greater girth. A new Manhattan by the Seine?
I propose inserting high-rises at specific locations, like acupuncture needles. The current blocks are terrible. We have to realign the skyline and link up the terraces. There has to be harmony so that people can discover the city from up there.
An additional challenge is making the city greener with more parks and recreation areas. German architect Finn Geipel foresees breathing new life into the city's waterways.
We suggest bringing these landscapes back onto the mental map of the population, both for people who live in the center of Paris and for those who live elsewhere in the metropolitan area. And also, of course, for everybody coming in from outside Paris.
It's not the first time that Paris has been revamped. In the 19th century, civic planner Baron Haussmann transformed the city, erecting 40,000 new buildings and carving out the now trademark boulevards. Paris later underwent dramatic changes, especially during the presidency of François Mitterrand. He oversaw the construction of the Louvre Pyramid, the La Défense district, and other major civic buildings during the 1980s. Meanwhile, the banlieue, the loose arrangement of concrete suburbs on the edge of Paris, have suffered from neglect. Many of the entries featured a long overdue upgrading of the banlieue. Roland Castro wants to create new suburban centers complete with a proper infrastructure.
This area is completely fragmented, especially in the east, north, and south. They're breaking up into separate parts. There's extreme diversity in areas 5 to 10 kilometers out. It's time to do something.
The French government now wants to turn the various ideas and plans into concrete action. Whatever the outcome, the future for Greater Paris looks bright.